She slammed her palm on the table so hard the crystal glass rattled. 10 million, she said, all of it. Her voice didn't tremble. That was the part that broke me. Not the demand, just how practiced it sounded, like she'd rehearsed stealing from me in the mirror. I stared at her across her parents' mahogany dining table, the same one where we used to play cards as kids. "You're serious." "Dead serious," she said. "You have your job. You'll be fine. I just need it more." Need. She used that word like it was oxygen. When I finally spoke, my voice was calm. "Fine, take it, but never contact me again." Her smile was thin and sharp. Perfect. That was the last thing she said before she walked out of my life. Or so she thought. When we were children, Emily used to braid my hair before school. She was protective back then, my shield from bullies, the one who said she'd always look out for me. I believed her. Even after she married that man, Greg, the one with the slick smile and investment ideas, I believed her. After our parents died in that crash, she called me crying. Real tears. Or maybe she'd learned how to fake those too. We buried them together, hand in hand. And a week later, she handed me a document, her proposal to handle the inheritance through her husband's firm. I didn't sign. She didn't forgive that. The first month after I walked away, I tried to forget. But forgetting doesn't come easily when someone steals your bloodline. By the second month, I began to notice things. A call from the estate lawyer. Apparently, Emily had liquidated all the assets, sold the lake house, and transferred the entire inheritance into a private offshore account. She'd found a loophole through a trust clause, one I had trusted her to manage before I refused to sign. Smart, ruthless, predictable. That night, I didn't cry. I started planning. I spent the next 3 weeks studying everything she touched. Greg's company filings, their joint properties, even her social media posts. Every smiling picture told a story of arrogance, of someone who thought the storm had passed. She'd bought a penthouse downtown, lavish parties, charity events, every move screaming of untouchable wealth. But arrogance always leaves fingerprints. I traced her husband's firm to a series of shell accounts used for insider trading, the same accounts the SEC had been quietly investigating. And guess whose name showed up as a silent investor? Emily's. I smiled when I saw it, the perfect noose, already around her neck. All I had to do was pull. I became someone else for the next month, quiet, polite, invisible. I called an old college friend, an analyst for the SEC. I told him about a hypothetical situation. He asked for documents. I sent them anonymously. Meanwhile, I reached out to Greg, under a fake name. Potential investor interested in your expansion. Men like him can't resist the scent of money. At our meeting, I wore a black suit and a smile that didn't reach my eyes. He bragged for an hour, showing me confidential spreadsheets, account transfers, even falsified audit statements. I recorded everything. By the time dessert arrived, I had enough to sink them both. 3 months after that day at the table, I invited Emily to lunch. Neutral ground. A quiet rooftop restaurant overlooking the city she thought she owned. She looked radiant. Designer dress, diamond earrings, that same smirk. "Well," she said, sipping champagne, "you wanted to talk?" "Yes," I said, "to say goodbye properly." Her brow arched. "Goodbye? Again?" I slid an envelope across the table. Inside, copies of the SEC subpoena and Greg's arrest warrant. Her hand froze midair. "What is this?" she whispered. "Your husband," I said, "was indicted this morning. Securities fraud, embezzlement, money laundering. They'll find your name soon enough." I made sure of it. She looked at me, disbelief flickering into fear. What did you do?" "Nothing illegal," I said softly, "just corrected a mistake." She opened her mouth to speak, but her phone buzzed. Greg's name on the screen. Then a second buzz, her bank notification. Account frozen. Her face drained of color. You destroyed me. I stood. No, Emily, you destroyed yourself. I just drew the curtains back. They froze every asset within hours. Greg turned on her to save himself. By the end of the week, the penthouse was empty. Her name splashed across every news site. Socialite involved in insider trading scandal? I didn't gloat. I didn't need to. I drove to the lake house. Technically no longer ours, but the place still smelled like our parents'. I sat on the old dock, watching the water fold into itself. For the first time in months, I felt still. Revenge doesn't heal you. It doesn't resurrect the past. But it does something almost as good. It balances the scales. And sometimes that's enough.